that category this year. And authorities are searching for 4 detainees after a riot at Newark, New Jersey's ICE facility. Immigrant rights groups say it stemmed from poor treatment, including lack of food and visitation. Black Mayor Ras Baraka called out the lack of oversight, and a recently released detainee spoke out about the conditions. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I hope you're having a good Friday afternoon. My name is Eddie Francis, and I am in for the G-Man, Gerard Stevens, on the reality check. No, your ears do not deceive you. Your eyes do not deceive you. G is not in here. I'm hanging out for him, holding it down today. And so I most definitely hope that you and I can have a great conversation today, because we had some bills passed in the Louisiana legislature. So I'm going to go over that. What are the recent bills that have been passed? And also today, you know, I think we need to have a conversation about the professional sports scene here. Man. How you feeling about our pro sports? How you feeling about the Saints? How you feeling about the Pelicans? I'm asking this because I have been looking at the news cycle. I've been looking at the reports from Saints training camp, the news cycle with Zion and all of this good stuff. And it honestly seems to me that it's a bit chaotic right now on Airline Drive. Maybe it's just me. But we'll talk about that. I would love to hear your thoughts about what we're looking like in the New Orleans sports scene. We'll talk about that around the second hour today. But then also another thing I'm really interested in getting your thoughts about. Have we lost, and we can say that it is throughout America, we can say that it is in our Black community. I don't know. But I was having this conversation with a friend of mine, and she is of the opinion that we have lost collectively in this national community of ours a sense of accountability. She feels that people just have no sense of accountability. And I'm interested in your thoughts about that. So we'll talk about that a little later. But to get everything started, this weekend is Father's Day. Whoop, whoop. Father's Day. Yeah. It's that time of year. We go crazy. Father's Day. All the socks and undies you can stand. I'm looking forward to a big Father's Day. I am. But I heard something very interesting. There's this brother. I don't know if you have heard of this brother out of Detroit, Jason Wilson. Jason Wilson, you might have heard of him because he has a dojo and he teaches young Black men martial arts, boys, young Black men. And he made a very interesting comment about what fathers prefer on Father's Day. Basically, in so many words, he said, it's not necessarily that fathers want a present. He believes that what fathers really appreciate more than that would be some sort of experience. So to him, it is a father would rather sit down, relax, and have his wife or his significant other just kind of stroke his head and just, give him a shoulder rub or something like that. Go hang out. Here in New Orleans, go hang out on the lake. Maybe go grab some crawfish or something and just go hang out. Make Father's Day an experience. And I had to think about this. I was wondering, do I even agree with this man? And the answer is, yeah, I actually do agree with him. I love presents. Don't get me wrong. I'm like just about any other red-blooded human being. I love presents. But experiences really do mean a lot to me, especially for Father's Day. So I'm interested, if you're a father, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a present, or do you prefer an experience for Father's Day? The number is 504 582 9422. 504 582 9422. Now, you know what's really cool about this Father's Day for me is that it also falls on my birthday. Every so often, I get Father's Day and my birthday on the same day. Your boy is doing double nickel this year, the big 5-5. Can't wait. And I know really I can't because I don't know about you, but I always enjoy another year of life. So I'm not going to complain about the gray hairs. I can't complain about the belly because that's my fault. Um, but yeah, so I get to do both of them. So I think personally, and I would enjoy some backup on this. I think I should get a double experience on Saturday. I don't know what that looks like. I mean, that's up to Dr. Leek Francis. She's gonna have to be imaginative. The kid, I can't depend on the kid. He's yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. Yeah, I think I need to really push hard for a double experience this Saturday or this Sunday for Father's Day. But if you are a dad and you're listening to this, again, I really would like to know, what do you prefer for Father's Day? Do you prefer to have a present, or do you like having an experience, whatever that experience is? Now, I must remind you, because I can only imagine some of the folks who listen to this show, because I do know Gerard Stevens. Keep it family-like, okay, if you prefer an experience. And also, don't try to be slick and say, well, the experience is the present. No. Do you want something in hand, some sort of object, or keep it family-like, or do you want an experience for Father's Day? So many thanks to the folks who are hanging out on Facebook right now. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to hang out with us here. Anita, thank you so much for hanging out. And also, Martin, thank you so much for hanging out. Really appreciate y'all hanging out today on The Reality Check. So we have just had the 2025 session wrap up with the Louisiana legislature. And we have had several bills passed. 112 bills have been signed into law by Governor Landry, according to NOLA.com. And so here are some of the highlights that NOLA.com has as far as bills are concerned. So we do have auto insurance bills that have been passed. One bill, House Bill 148, would give the insurance commissioner more ability to reject rate increases. Now, this article says that it has drawn the ire of Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple, who says it gives arbitrary authority to him and his successors. But here are some of the other bills, auto insurance related bills, that were signed by Landry. House Bill 450 requires someone who sues over injury in an accident to show that the injuries occurred during the accident. House Bill 434 reduces payouts to uninsured motorists injured while driving. House Bill 436 prohibits undocumented immigrants injured in car accidents from collecting general damages such as for emotional stress and pain and suffering. House Bill 549 requires insurance companies to give trucking companies a 5% discount when they install dashboard cameras on their large trucks. And then there is House Bill 148, gives the state insurance commissioner more authority to reject rate increases. If you have any thoughts on any of the bills that have passed, any that you were taking a look at, feel free to give us a call. Let me know what you think about the bills that have been passed. 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. Now, we also have the budget that has been approved for the new fiscal year. That's, of course, going to start July 1. And the budget is about $51 billion. That includes an extra $1.2 billion in one-time spending on roads, economic development, and college campus improvements by using money withdrawn from the state's Revenue Stabilization Trust Fund. Again, this is according to NOLA.com. Inspired by the Make America Healthy Again movement by the Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, they actually did decide to make some changes to food in schools under Senate Bill 14, according to NOLA.com. Louisiana schools will not be allowed to serve certain artificial colors and additives in breakfasts and lunches, including Red 40, and restaurants and food businesses using seed oils will have to notify customers on menus or signage of those being part of the ingredients. We have education bills that have been passed. House Bill 466, this one, some pretty active discussions on it. 466 requires school systems to provide $2,250, a salary increase of that for teachers, and a $1,125 increase for school support staff. The state will pay for the raises by using education trust funds to pay down debt related to the teacher retirement system, saving school systems an estimated $2 billion in interest payments. Voters will have to approve eliminating the trust funds in a constitutional amendment. So that is another vote coming up. And then we have House Bill 372 that adds computer science as a high school graduation requirement. Again, House Bill 372 that has been passed. It adds computer science as a high school graduation requirement. House Bill 77 creates a new TOPS Excellence Award for students who score a 31 or higher on the ACT. The recipients will get a $12,000 annual scholarship if they attend a public Louisiana college or university, or $8,500 if they attend certain private universities, including Dillard, Loyola, Tulane, and Xavier, or an amount equal to the cost of tuition and fees, whichever is less. That is quite interesting. House Bill 279 requires fraternities, sororities, bands, sports teams, and other higher ed student organizations to provide members with an annual 2-hour course on hazing prevention, up from the current 1 hour. Organizations that don't comply will be banned from operating on campus. The bill was inspired by the hazing death of Southern University student Caleb Wilson, according to NOLA.com. If you did not know, there is actually also a federal law, a federal anti-hazing law. And so this follows in that line as well. If you have any thoughts about the bills that we have that have been passed, then feel free to give me a call, 582-9422, 582-9422. Of course, the area code is 504. Now, you can also participate in the conversation on Facebook. So make sure you join us, WBOK 1230 AM on Facebook, and let us know if you have any thoughts about any of the bills that have been passed. Is there anything that surprises you? Is there anything that you took a look at and you said, oh my goodness, I hope this doesn't pass? Or is this something that passed that you're glad passed? Again, feel free to give us a call and let us know what your thoughts are there. We are also streaming live on YouTube. And so if you wanted to get to YouTube and you want to hang out with us there, WBOK1230.com, please do. Please jump into the conversation with us. It would be great to have you. So moving on, looking at some of the other bills that have been passed this legislative session, there is a pharmacy benefits managers bill, House Bill 358, which would have barred companies from owning both pharmacies and pharmacy benefit managers. Firms that negotiate lower drug prices from drug makers failed to pass on the last day of session, by the way. So Governor Landry, who supported that bill, said he would call legislators in for a special session to take up the issue again. So boy, I tell you, boy, this Governor Landry, when he does not get his way, he is ready for a new session. All right, we got a call coming in. Again, 504-582-9422 is your number. 504-582-9422. T-Bone is on the line this afternoon. Good afternoon, T-Bone. What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You used to be known as Fast Eddie, wasn't you, at one point?
Yeah, I sure was, man, unfortunately.
Okay. I know. I remember you from other stations, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
All right. The last bill you just mentioned, the pharmacy bill.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a little bit more detail on that, and then I'll speak on the Father's Day thing.
So let me go over it again. So House Bill 358, it would have barred companies from owning both pharmacies and pharmacy benefit managers. The thing is it did not pass. So I stand corrected on that. That bill did not pass.
Okay, because I got blown up with a bunch of alerts from CVS about call your legislature. We may be closing soon, and this, that, and other. I'm like, what in the world now? You know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I got a couple of tests on that, man, and I wasn't sure what was going on, and I have prescriptions throughout CVS.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And so it really bothered me. But in terms of Father's Day, look, and this might sound corny, but God is my witness. I'm just thankful that I am a father, that I got to see fatherhood. I miss my own father. You know, he's been gone since 98, man. But I'm just thankful to have fatherhood as a part of my life's resume, because I know people who can't have children. I know people that became fathers but are not fathers, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just thankful and I thank God every day for my family, for my wife, for my kids. You know, I'm thankful to be a father. So if they choose to give me a gift, I'm cool. It don't matter what gift it is. If they choose to drop a steak and potatoes on, I'm good with that. If they decide, we just going to fix you something and it's going to be a surprise, I'm be happy with it.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that don't get that blessing. My kids, my wife, are a blessing to me that God gave me. And I thank God every day for that. That might sound corny, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Man,
you know?
listen, T-Bone, corny is good. That works for me because I think I'm completely with you. I'm completely with you. Last year I'm not going to say what, but I got a great Father's Day gift last year. That was also a birthday gift. My wife, let's just say she went all out. She made a big investment for me. And I told her, listen, this takes care of Father's Day, birthday, and Christmas, because I told her to have been thought of in that way meant a whole lot to me. And so I'm like you. It's a blessing just to be a father. It is
right.
It is the greatest thing in the world to watch your kids grow up, to watch your kids mature, to get all the crazy questions from them, and to be able to answer those questions.
Right.
I think that is a gift in and of itself. So no, I have no problem with a corny Father's Day appreciation, my brother. I have no problem with it at all.
Yeah, and I ain't even got to go nowhere. If I'm just sitting at home, the only gripe I have about two things this year is going to be overshadowed by that Trump parade.
Yeah.
Two, we never get, and speak up, man. You got to speak up on this one, or it ain't going to change. We never get any sports to watch. Think about it a second. If you look at Mother's Day, they run all the Tyler Perry movies, Color Purple, all of the female movies, man. But men, we can't watch a ball game for nothing in the world.
You're
You know
right.
what?
I mean,
What y'all could do, y'all could get some stuff out the vote. Show us the old school stuff. Show us Boston versus the Lakers back in the day.
oh,
Show us
man.
an Ali bout, the Rumble in the Jungle. Show us some. Show us the same Super Bowl down here, uncut. You know what I'm saying? Let us get our sports on Father's Day, y'all.
So I
Put
take
something
it,
on.
T-Bone. I gotta go in a second, but I take it, T-Bone, you are not a Major League Baseball fan.
No, I
Oh,
can't.
okay.
I can't. I tried to watch it the other day, bro, because I'm done with the finals.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
who's gonna win,
yeah.
but at the same time, I tried. I swear to God, I was about to fall asleep on it. I was about to fall asleep on it.
I hear you, man. Well, look, T-Bone, I gotta go, but thank you so much for and look.
All right, happy Father's Day to everybody that's a father at WBOK as well.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, and happy Father's Day to you. So we're gonna be back in just a couple of minutes. It is the Reality Check. I'm Eddie Francis in for Gerard Stevens on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
WBOK and LCMC Health are proud to present Keeping You Well Cafe. 60 Minutes with LCMC Health, where the doctors speak directly to the people of New Orleans. LCMC Health is committed to improving the quality of care here in New Orleans, the Gulf South, and beyond. The Keeping You Well Cafe is another way for LCMC Health to engage with the community. At the Keeping You Well Cafe, LCMC Health joins WBOK and local businesses to answer your questions about wellness and health.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
And good afternoon. Welcome back to the Reality Check. I'm Eddie Francis sitting in for Gerard Stevens. So happy that you could join me this afternoon. By the way, when you get an opportunity, go to WBOK and make sure you hang out with us on social media. We're on Facebook, X, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and LinkedIn. We're on all that stuff. You got to follow everything, by the way. If you're not on Twitch, get on Twitch and follow us, okay? Do us a solid. But yeah, make sure you follow us on all of our platforms. All right, we got some more calls coming in. Let's find out what people are talking about this afternoon. Good afternoon, Anita. How are you?
Great. How are you, sir?
I'm
Mr.
doing
Eddie?
good.
And all y'all handsome fellows out there, happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you. On behalf of the other handsome fellas.
Yeah. All right. Listen at this. Well, I already knew the HBCUs was going to be cut. They always be the first ones to go.
What do you mean the HBCU is going to get cut? What do you mean?
Didn't they say the like Dillard's they're not going to get all their money like they was getting right in that budget, in the new budget thing that you was talking about.
Yeah, yeah. That is a decades long fight though for just about every HBCU in every state. At least the state run institutions, they get shorted every single year.
Yes. So yeah, and you know that was going to be cut. But seems to me look like LSU got like the HBCUs only got like, how much did they get per student per year?
I don't know. I will see if I can I'll see if I can run down that number for you. But I mean,
Okay.
it's unfortunate, but it is predictable that just about every year, and like I said, in every state, that's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for it cutting the budgets in the school systems. So
Hmm.
I heard this too. So what is this with Nord? They're going to be taking the money from Nord and giving it to is that UNO Recreation Center, taking the public money for Nord and giving it to UNO.
I'm gonna
I
have
was
to find
reading.
somebody who I'm
I
gonna have
was,
to
I,
find
you know,
somebody
I
who
was
knows about
reading
that.
that on Alicia Plummer was stating that on, I think it was the Good Morning
On
Show.
the Good Morning Show. Hmm.
Yes, and I think that's where I read that at. And I'm like, damn, these kids can't get a break. So now they're gonna be out of benefits to keep those kids off the street. You know, if they take the money away from Nord and put it into that private institution, and you have to, you know, jump through hoops to get, you know, over there to UNO when they had these community parks in the neighborhoods where these kids could go.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate for that. And as far as your birthday gift, I think you deserve what you get because, you know, fathers go through a lot. They're the king. You are a king to your family, and they should honor you as a king, not just on Father's Day, but every day. And I tell you like this, and this is how I work with my daughter's birthday. Okay, she born December the 23rd, so now she gonna like get a birthday and Christmas gift all together. Just like your birthday happened to fall on Father's Day. But usually I would just buy her jewelry for her birthday and let her go crazy with the toys on Christmas. So she won't be left out on Christmas. And, you know, just one gift, make her feel like she's getting a birthday gift on her birthday. And Christmas is Christmas, you know. And I think if Father's Day fall on your birthday, yeah, you deserve, you know, double honor.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Anita. I know I'm going to have a great day on Sunday, and thank you for calling in. You have a great one, all right?
Always, and tell Mr. G, happy Father's Day when you see him for me, G-Man, and all you WBOK listeners. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you so much. I will most definitely pass that on. Let's keep going with the phone lines. Clayton, good afternoon. How are you?
Hello?
Yes. Good afternoon, Clayton. How are you?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing
Yeah,
good.
Brother Eddie. I wanted to let T-Bone know Michael Jordan gave us a game every Father's Day.
Yeah.
Every Father's Day, the Bulls gave us a game. You know, I just want to let Brother T-Bone know that, and all the fellas in the city, happy Father's Day.
All right, then. You got it. Thank you so much, Clayton. Have a good one. And so, so there is a push. There is a push for fathers to get a little bit more. Anita, I appreciate you saying that fathers should be celebrated every day. Yes, we should. Absolutely, we should. Speaking of fathers to be celebrated every day, I don't know if you saw this, but on let me see. I'm gonna have to see who exactly it was, but something I caught on Instagram, and um, it was actually, and I'm looking it up right now as I speak. So, South Carolina U.S. Representative Jim Clyburn, in a very, very cool move, he was actually at a gun violence prevention um, press conference. And so one of his colleagues was there, Representative Brittany Peterson, who is out of Colorado. Well, she just happened to have her 4-month-old son with her, and she was trying to hold her son and excuse me, and conduct this press conference at the same time. And Jim Clyburn offered to hold the baby while she made her comments. It had to be one of the coolest damn things I had seen. And the thing that was so cool about it was, number one, how effortlessly he offered. As she was speaking, she's trying to handle the kids. She's trying to, she's trying to make her comments at the podium. And Clyburn just effortlessly taps her on the elbow and holds his arms out so that he can hold her baby. The thing that I love about it, and I made a comment about this on Instagram, is that you have this congressman, this brother, this seasoned brother who offered to hold a baby. And Peterson herself could have actually said, "No, I got it. I'm going to make this happen because that's the kind of mom I am." Because apparently she is known to bring her children to work. And she's advocated for Congress to allow members to vote remotely during maternity leave. This is according to people.com. And so I think it was really cool that, number one, Clyburn was so smooth about how he offered to hold the kid, but she accepted the help. She trusted him, and they showed up as really good colleagues with one another. Now, the other part of this, for me, is that Clyburn is a black man. Black men, when we see that a lady needs help, especially with a kid, we want to help. Black men, we enjoy being fathers. And I think that what Clyburn did in holding the kid, in holding that 4-month-old son, it really showed how much he enjoys being a father, and it reflected how much black men enjoy fatherhood. So very cool, classy, smooth move by Clyburn. And even if he did it just for PR, success. Success. It was a successful PR move. I'm with it. I'm down. Now, I need to get to Facebook here. Good afternoon, Andrew. Thank you for hanging out. Coleman, thank you for hanging out. Good to see you as always. So Coleman wants to know, as far as Father's Day activities are concerned, T-Bone said there are no sports when he called in. No sports. We are just pretty much in a dry spell. Clayton said no, but back in the day, we used to get Michael Jordan. Used to. That was a long time ago. But Coleman asked, what about hockey or rugby on Father's Day? You got New Orleans Gold. So I looked up their schedule. I don't see that they have a game coming up. Lots of baseball. We know T-Bone won't be watching any baseball. So, yeah, there's going to be something going on, but it's just a matter of what you're up for. That's it. So, again, if you do have any thoughts on any of the legislative bills that were passed, then you can give us a call. 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. And of course, if you are a father, and you got Father's Day coming up, what's your pleasure? Do you want something in hand as a gift, or would you rather an experience? Now, speaking of sports, I really want to get your pulse about something else here. So we have our Saints who are getting ready for the 2025 football season. We have our Pels who are going to be getting ready for the 2025-2026 basketball season. Right now, the quarterback battle in Saints camp is looking interesting, depending on your definition of interesting. And then you also have Mr. Zion, who has been in the news cycle a little bit. But the Pels have said, we're going to stick with Zion. Well, that's what Joe Dumars said. Joe Dumars comes in, and it looks to me as if one of the biggest things that Joe Dumars is trying to do, it looks like he is trying to stabilize what's happening on Airline Drive. But how do you feel, New Orleans? Are you confident? Or are you at a wait and see for the upcoming pro sports? I mean, do you think this is going to be another 2 seasons of pro sports torture in New Orleans? Because I'm sorry, last year was torture. It was just torture. Do you think we're up for this? Do you think this is going to happen again? Or do you think one of those teams, or both of those teams, Pels and Saints, they're going to pull rabbits out of their hats and do something miraculous? Do you see that happening? What do you think about Spencer Rattler being under center as a starter for the Saints? Can you see it? And can you see it being successful? Do you want Jameis Winston back? Who doesn't want Jameis Winston back? I want Jameis Winston back. Is it realistically going to happen? Who knows? I don't think so. So we have a young quarterback room with the Saints. We have a new executive in Joe Dumars with the Pelicans who is trying to stabilize the operation. He has said, Zion is our guy. He's not going anywhere. Are you feeling confident? Give me a call. 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. Facebook, what do you think? To the audience on Facebook. What about the audience on YouTube? What do you think? By the way, Sandra Muhammad, thank you so much for wishing us a happy Father's Day on YouTube. Really appreciate it. Yes, I fully intend to enjoy my day on Sunday. Fully intend. It's going to be a great day. Again, Facebook audience, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Anita, for tuning in. Thank you so much, Martin Curley, for tuning in. Andrew Harris, thank you so much for tuning in. And also Coleman, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you. Feel free to give us a call and let us know what you think. Because I just kind of think that folks are sitting on pins and needles about these pro sports seasons. Let's see what we got somebody on the line right now. We got Ty on the line right now. Good afternoon, Ty. How you doing?
Terry, not Ty.
Oh, Terry. Oh, okay, never mind. The letters on the readout on the phone had not completed. I just saw TY, but it's Terry. How you doing, man?
All right. I'm doing all right, man. Don't worry about that. Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you. Should I be wishing you a happy Father's Day?
Oh, yeah. I definitely have. My kids are grown. I got grandchildren there. I'm a grandfather also.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, happy Father's Day to you, man. What's on your mind?
I know that you mentioned the Saints and the Pelicans, and this is all I got to say about the Saints. Long as this is just my opinion. Long as Mickey Loomis is there, the Saints are headed downhill. I don't like Mickey Loomis as the general manager. I mean, look at his track record since Drew Brees and Sean Payton left. I mean, the team has not improved at all. Eddie, what you think about that?
You know, it's let me tell you, I have said this before, and I think I might have said this on the front porch one day. But the way things have gone since Sean Payton left gives me a new appreciation for how much control he had.
Yeah.
That man had a lot of control of that team. And it seemed like to some extent he controlled the front office.
Yep, granted.
And I mean, and you're right. I mean, it just destabilized really quickly after he left. Really, really quickly. I mean, starting with that cursed decision for a head coach. But yeah, so you think as long as Mickey Loomis is around, we're not in good shape with the Saints. What about on the Pelican side? What are you thinking?
Okay, but I mean, you know, and I love what you said about Joe. Joe Dumars he's a homeboy though. Eddie. He's a homeboy. I mean, we have got to give him an opportunity. I mean, he's a homeboy. He's not from out of state or nothing like that. He's right here in Louisiana. Yeah. So, you know, and then he knows basketball. I mean, he has a basketball pedigree. He played the game. He won championships. So then everybody keep resorting back to the time when he was with Detroit and they drafted Darko. I can't think of his last name.
Oh,
but like I told somebody, that's the past. You know, sometimes you learn from your mistakes.
Absolutely. I mean, because in Detroit, he was new to the front office.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give people an opportunity to grow in their positions, and yeah, I think he's a lot wiser. What do you think about him showing confidence in Zion, giving a vote of confidence?
And it's beautiful. See, I think that I agree with his pick. His pick as the general manager. You know, I'm still speaking with Eddie, right? Eddie Francis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Yeah, but look, Eddie, I mean, it's almost a perfect pick if you stop and think about it. He's a former player. He has played the game. He knew what the game consists of. He can talk to Zion about the game. And I ain't talking about no monetary stuff and no free agency stuff. He can tell him about the game.
What do you think about him sticking with Willie Green?
Now, I'm against that, but you know, I guess you gotta give Willie a chance to see if he can do something. I say by halfway season, we'll know if they're gonna keep Willie Green by halfway through the season.
I think so too. Team, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I mean, I know Miss Benson. You know, everybody says Miss Benson. Well, that's all right. She's the owner. But what I'm saying is that she is. We'll give him. I think he deserves a chance. But after he shows, hopefully he'll show improvement. Because if he doesn't, I think he should be out of here. Because it's almost like when you bring in something new, why keep something old? That's crazy.
But here's the thing here's what scares me about Willie Green. What scares me is that we could potentially have another Monty Williams situation. Where I'm wondering, because Willie Green he is still a new coach. And I know it feels like he's been coaching the team for 10 years, but he's only been coaching it for what, 3-4 years now? And so he is still learning to be a head coach. And I'm wondering if we do the same thing, we pull the trigger on Willie Green, we let him go, he goes to another team, gets developed much better as a coach, and then and gets some hardware in some place like, I don't know, you know, he winds up in Toronto or someplace and winds up getting Toronto another championship. You know, that is the hesitancy I have. Even though I was really disappointed in the way he's coached the past couple of seasons, I just wonder if that's going to happen again to us. We let a young coach go and he figures it out after he leaves us. That's what I wonder about.
Okay, but see, when we're resorting back to the same thing I just said earlier, though, Eddie, having Joe Dumars makes a big difference because he can talk to Willie about the game, and you know he's a former player, former All-Star, one of the top defensive players, you know, in league history. But at the same time, he can, you know, have this little conversation with Willie about coaching the team, not necessarily telling him how to coach the team, Eddie. I'm saying to give him some basketball knowledge about, you know, talking to the players, you know, maybe getting some more output from the players. I think it's a win-win with Joe Dumars.
All right. So can you say safely that you would be excited about the upcoming Pell season?
I definitely will be, because I think Joe Dumars might be the tipping point of what they needed all along. They need a players general manager who knows the game and, knows how to talk to the guys one-on-one. He's not going to talk about contracts. Of course, he's going to talk about it, but he's going to talk to them about the game.
All right. Well, thank you, Terry. Thank you for calling in. And again, have a happy Father's Day, all right?
To everyone.
All right, man. Appreciate you. So Terry is confident in the Pels coming up this season. Doesn't sound so confident in the Saints. You got any thoughts on that? 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. And it is the reality check. I'm Eddie Francis. Let's see if we can get a reality check about pro sports. And okay, what New Orleans is talking about.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time, weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
New Schools for New Orleans wants to wish all of our students, teachers, and administrators a great summer break. Use this break as an opportunity to relax and reflect on all of you've accomplished this year. We can't wait to celebrate your success in the coming months.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hey, Pontchartrain Park. Thanks for listening to WBOK.
The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good afternoon and welcome back to The Reality Check. I'm Eddie Francis in for Gerard Stevens. Thank you so much for everybody who is hanging out with me this afternoon, especially on Facebook. Joan, thank you so much for hanging out, and thank you for the Father's Day wishes. And yes, you are right. Happy Father's Day to all the dads, the stepdads, the step-up dads, the significant other dads. And Joan said, have a great day. So you heard her. Have a great day on Sunday. Did a little sports talk. I just wanted to get people's feelings about this. Of course, right now, I don't know if you knew about this, but of course, if you follow college baseball, you know that LSU is doing their thing right now in the College World Series. They have a game coming up. They're going to be playing Arkansas. But do you realize that LSU was not and still is not the best college baseball story in the state of Louisiana this season? Not even by a long shot. They're not even close to the best college baseball story in the state. As a matter of fact, even if LSU won, even if they won the College World Series, they still would not be the best college baseball story in the state of Louisiana. Do you know what the best college baseball story in Louisiana has been this season? Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. It has been LSU. Shreveport. LSU-S, by far, the best college baseball story in the state of Louisiana, and quite frankly, the best college baseball story in college baseball history. This year, The LSU Shreveport Pilots went, and if you're a baseball fan, you just will not believe this. You will have an appreciation for this. These dudes went 59-0 on their season. Riddle me this. How do you go undefeated in baseball? LSU Shreveport, the Pilots, NAIA, not NCAA, NAIA, the Red River Athletic Conference. I know quite a bit about LSU Shreveport because I used to work at SUNO, and SUNO and LSUS used to be in the same athletic conference. They used to be in the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, which is now known as the HBCU Athletic Conference. Shouts out to Dr. Kiki Baker Barnes, the commissioner. But yeah, LSU Shreveport went 59-0 on the season. They had a bunch of games where they did double-digit victories. There were a couple of games. They played Texas College a couple of games, and I think one of the scores was like 42-7. Another one was 34-0. I kid you not. I kid you not. They had, I think, about 20-some-odd games that they won in double digits, if I'm not mistaken. But I really, I'm trying to figure out, how did these people win 59 games in a row undefeated in baseball? So, yeah, I stand by that. Even if LSU wins the College World Series, it is still not a more impressive story than their sister campus in Shreveport. Man. So if you go to WBOK1230.com, you can catch some local news stories and some national news stories. You can also catch some lifestyle stories. Like, this is one that I thought this was a pretty interesting story, a pretty interesting question. And I'll tell you why in just a second. Should you let pets sleep next to you? So if you are on social media, especially if you like pet social media, like pet Instagram, pet TikTok, pet YouTube, pet Facebook, I'm one of those people. I actually love the pet videos. I love animal videos. Actually, when I want to de-stress a little bit, I watch videos of panda bears. They're the greatest de-stressors. But anyway, you see a lot of these videos and these pictures on social media of people who are letting their pets sleep next to them in the bed. Now, in Chez Francois, we have a strict we have a no dog in the bed rule. The cat, he sleeps in the bed. And one of the reasons is we can't stop him. Cat is a jerk, man. He's just a major league jerk. So we have a dog and we have a cat. So I am both a dog daddy and a cat daddy. So yes, we have Allegra, the dog. She's a Rottweiler. And we have Asa, the cat, who's a tuxedo cat. Great pets, by the way. They're both really cool. And I'll be doggone if that 90-some-odd Rottweiler does not try to find her way into the bed with us at night. And the answer is niet, nein, no. So this article is asking the question, should you let your pets sleep next to you? Well, it's very interesting. So the article that's on WDSU.com says lots of pet owners let their animals sleep in bed with them, which usually disrupts sleeps. But many would say it's worth it. And researchers don't necessarily disagree with that. So there's this professor who specializes in sleep health. And she said most people at her clinic say that their pets will disturb them often at night. You don't say, especially a dog. Come on now. Anyway, so what they say is that generally speaking, having a pet is good for many people's health. Yes, I agree with that. Pets have also been shown to lower humans' stress levels. They get them to exercise more. Yes, both of those things have been happening. Yes, go Allegra. She's really good with this. Many pet owners also say they feel an immeasurable amount of comfort by having their pets close as they sleep. But here's the thing. Dog and cat's natural sleep cycles not the same as humans. So dogs tend to be light sleepers. They wake up multiple times during the night. Yes. And so let's just stop this entire article right there. Okay. See, Eddie likes to sleep. Eddie likes to sleep the night through. The only thing that I'm good with when it comes to getting out of bed in the middle of the night is going to the bathroom. But if that dog were to sleep in bed with us and wake up in the middle of the night, and dogs, they jump up. They don't just open their eyes slowly. And no, dogs jump up, especially when they hear weird noises. No, somebody's going to have another household will have a new dog. We're not doing it. We are not doing it. But anyway, I will go ahead and I'll go ahead and finish the article because it does say that research has found that sleeping with pets was associated with poor sleep. Quote, particularly those dimensions of sleep quality and insomnia symptoms, end quote. And so they hate to admit it, but they do say that having a pet will disrupt sleep if you let the pet sleep next to you in bed. And I do think this is specifically with dogs. However, like I said, our cat Asa, dude is a jerk. So he'll go left in the middle of the night and do some crazy stuff in the middle of sleep. But for the most part, he's actually a pretty calm sleeper. But yeah, I don't, if I'm just being blunt here, I don't know a whole lot of black folks who they'll let a 90-some-odd dog sleep in the bed. I mean, and if you do, then that's your world. I'm not judging much at all. But no, the dog does not get in the bed with us. First of all, I don't want that dog smell in the bed because dogs smell like dogs. Do you know how much it takes to get a dog smell out of something sometimes? Like we have a dog smell on a hardwood floor. Can you imagine that in the bed? Nah, dog. All right, we need to take a break. I'm Eddie Francis in for Gerard Stevens. It's the reality check. WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
From the campus of Xavier University.
Yeah.
WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Florida Rep Byron Donalds is weighing in after Senator Alex Padilla was removed from a press event in Los Angeles.
My reaction is that Senator Padilla was really trying to make a name for himself. Nobody even knows who the man is nationwide.
Padilla says he was seeking answers on immigration and questioned how everyday people are treated if a senator is handled this way. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is urging peaceful protests after over 15 arrests during a loot demonstration. His chief of staff says ICE is preparing raids with mini tanks like those used in Los Angeles. And anti-ICE protests are spreading nationwide with many black demonstrators leading the charge. In Vegas, police declared an unlawful assembly near the ICE office. Seattle and Spokane also saw clashes prompting a curfew. Texas sent National Guard troops to San Antonio, but protests there remain peaceful. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
Hey, everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do every Monday. It's Movie Monday.
And Tuesday, it's Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to.
All day long.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
And good afternoon. Welcome back to the reality check. I'm Eddie Francis in for Gerard Stevens. Hey, listen, tomorrow, make sure that you listen up to a couple of shows here on WBOK. Conversations with Ron Richardson, 9 a.m. here on WBOK, 9 a.m. Central Time if you're streaming. And tomorrow afternoon, a fantastic show. I don't know where WBOK found this person. I don't know how they even landed this show. I don't know how this even happened, I tell you. But when I tell you WBOK struck gold with this station has struck gold tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m., The Way Forward with Eddie Francis. Yes, check out tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, The Way Forward. Go ahead and check it out. Tomorrow afternoon, as a matter of fact, on The Way Forward, I have something I'm going to get off my chest. And it is about people's view of the useless college degree. You got to, I have a lot to say about it. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I'm going to say, but what I will say is this. I am someone, and you're gonna find this out tomorrow if you have not heard the show. I am someone who is passionate about higher education, and that is for a specific reason. I actually started my higher education work life at Southern University in New Orleans. 2007, I became the director of public relations there. Wasn't necessarily sure it was a career pivot for me at the time, and I wasn't necessarily sure that I was doing the right thing. But I got mad love for SUNO. If anyone has ever heard me or has ever seen me represent SUNO sometimes on the front porch, the reason is that I've had a great career as a marketing communications professional and leader in higher education, and it started with SUNO giving me an opportunity. But what really did it for me was the first commencement I attended when I was working at SUNO. And I remember this woman, she was, I want to say she was in her 70s at the time, and she was getting her bachelor's degree. And the people who made so much noise for her made me realize I was in the right place. But also, it was the fact that SUNO gave her and so many other people opportunities to earn their bachelor's degrees or their master's degrees, and to see how HBCUs overall have been engines of social mobility for a lot of Black folks. Of course, it's not limited to just HBCUs, but we know that when it comes to Black folks getting bachelor's degrees, Black folks being successful in higher education and being successful after they get their degrees, we know that HBCUs have shouldered the burden of that. And so getting an opportunity, I've gotten the opportunity to work at 3 other HBCUs since SUNO. I've worked at Paul Quinn College at Dallas. I have led marketing communications at Dillard here in New Orleans. And I'm currently the interim chief communications officer at Talladega College, Nairn's alma mater. And so, go Tornadoes. And so I've had that great opportunity. And to see what higher education has done for so many people, how it has given them this opportunity to find a place, where they can, and I've heard this before. I've had someone tell me sleeping in a dorm in college was the first time I had a stable environment. I grew up in an environment where I was constantly moving around. I grew up in this environment where I just didn't live in the best neighborhood, but I felt safe for the first time on a college campus. I felt safe for the first time sleeping in a dorm room. and saying that was the first time. I've had students say it was the first time that I got 3 square meals a day on a college campus. And so whenever people say that a college degree is useless, I'm not so much worried about which degree they're talking about. I wonder what makes it useless to them. So I'm not going to give away the conversation or the commentary. Again, tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m., the way forward. And I would appreciate you joining me, please, and thank you. By the way, Joan, thank you so much for... So Joan on Facebook, thank you so much for weighing in about the pet sleeping in bed thing. So Joan says, yes, my ginger cat sleeps next to me. I move more than him. I get up to go to the bathroom more than him. He looks at me like, you getting up again? He don't move. I love the animal videos. Rockster does the best dubs on videos. Follow him. Yes, I know what you're talking about, Joan, actually. The animal dub videos, the voice dub videos on animals are just legendary. I love them. And the thing is that I can actually go into this black hole of entertainment. And when I tell you, I'll be sitting on either TikTok and Instagram for about 30 minutes and not even realize it, watching these animal videos, especially the voice dubs and that one. Yeah, I get lost. I get lost because it's just, I'm laughing the entire time. And one thing about me is I love to laugh. When they say laughter is the best medicine, I must be healthy as I don't know what, because I laugh all the time. I love to laugh. I love joy, all that good stuff. Oh man, okay, so Sandra on YouTube, she says, yeah, her late beloved pup, only after the grooming would she sleep next to her, but her spot was in the car on the front passenger seat. That's really cool. That is very, very cool. Again, Sandra, thank you for hanging out with us, as always, on YouTube. Very much appreciated. Everybody who's hanging out with us on Facebook, thank you so much for hanging out. And you can go ahead and you can weigh in on the conversation. So I wanted to actually ask you a question, because I was having this conversation with a friend of mine one day, and we were having a political conversation, and we were, without going into it, without going into that person, we were talking about all of the people who are having buyer's remorse about their votes. And my friend asked the question, what were they thinking? And I'm one of those people who tries to understand what's going on in people's heads. There's a difference between judging what happens in people's heads and trying to understand what happens in people's heads. I used to judge all day, all night. But now I feel as if I get a lot more done and I'm more understanding of the human condition if I simply try to understand what's happening in people's heads without judgment. I'll disagree with it, definitely disagree, but I really, really, truly want to understand. So in this conversation, I'm saying, well, just trying to understand what they were thinking. They thought that they were going to get something out of this. And my friend is going, what could they have possibly thought they were going to get? Well, I mean, a lot of promises were made, hefty promises. And these folks listened to the promises. That's what they thought they were going to get. And of course, a lot of their votes were anti as well. They were voting against people. We can have that conversation. But my point was that this is what they were trying to do. And so my friend asked the question, where was the accountability with these people? Why are they not accountable for the fact that they made a decision that they knew could be potentially harmful to other groups of people in society? I said, that's a very good question. Where is the accountability? And so my friend says, you know what? People have just lost all senses of accountability. people just aren't accountable anymore. They make decisions, the decision bites them in the butt, and they want to know what happened, and they act like they have no idea what happened. And I asked her, do you really think that there is no sense of accountability, or do you think there is a declining sense of accountability? And she was really upset about this topic, understandably. I mean, I'm not happy about it either. But being so upset about it, she said, no, I think people are not accountable anymore. So I want to ask you, WBOK audience, have we lost a sense of accountability in society? 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. We run into this all the time, don't we? We run into it with our families. We run into it at work. We run into it with friends. We run into it when it comes down to relationships. You know, someone says, hey, I started dating this person, and this person turned around and started acting crazy one day. And you ask them, well, hold on. Okay, did this person start acting crazy one day? Or did you choose to ignore that this person might act in a different way? I try not to use the word crazy. Did you see a clue that this person would act a certain way that would just really throw you off? Did you see that? Well, I mean, that's when you start finding out that they did see something. They did, in fact, see something from someone that told them that one day this person was going to do something or say something or make a decision that was going to go completely left. And so in this moment, you ask yourself, well, are you not accountable for making your decisions when it comes to hanging out with people? When you saw the clue that this person was going to go left, why did you not make an informed decision for yourself? We're all human. I get it. And again, not judging, but trying to understand why. And so when you have those conversations with people, what you wind up realizing is that they lost a sense of accountability. Now, I think I can, if you're the type of person who believes that people have just lost all senses of accountability, I can understand why you would say such a thing. I think what happens with a lot of us when it comes down to accountability is we make a decision that is counter to the accountable decision because we're doing what we feel is the right thing, not what we think or know is the right thing. We're going by our feelings. And our emotions can often betray us. We all know this, right? We've all been through this. We are all feeling, thinking human beings. But the problem is that when someone else uses the word accountability on us, how many times have you heard that word used as a punishment? How many times have you heard someone use the word accountability to place judgment on you? And while they may not mean any harm, and they may not mean to place judgment on you, what you're thinking to yourself is, wait a minute, you think less of me. And that's why you are telling me that I need to be accountable. Or that's how you are using the word accountable. My favorite quote about the word accountable or accountability is from a guy named Alan Stein Jr., a speaker. And Stein says that accountability is something that you do for someone. When he said that, that really changed the way I think about accountability. Because I used to be one of those people when they would say things like, well, Eddie, I have to hold you accountable for this. I always felt like I was getting punished. Every single time I felt like I was getting punished. Now, that's a me problem. That's not a them problem. But that is the way I felt. And at the time, I didn't feel like it was a me problem. I, at the time, felt it was a them problem. But when I heard Stein say accountability is something that you do for someone, it made me think so much differently about it, because it made me realize that if you truly care about someone, you are going to say to them, hey, listen, you got to be more accountable here, okay? You have to make a different set of decisions here if you want to get a much better result. And I think that's why a lot of times when it comes to accountability, we tend to make decisions that might not be in our best interest. So going back to this conversation that I was having with my friend about people who are having voters' remorse over the 2024 election, presidential election, she's going, no, I mean, this just shows, this is evidence that people have just lost a sense of accountability. Now, maybe what it is that people have lost a sense of accountability about a certain thing. Maybe we live in a society where people have lost a sense of accountability about politics. Because it's not just that if you are not pleased with the results of this 2024 election, which most of us are not, if you are not pleased with the results, then not only do you look at the people who made the vote for that person, but you also take a look at the people who did not vote at all. And you look at them and say, you were not accountable at all. So you cannot be upset by the results. You cannot be upset by what's happening right now in the economy. You cannot be upset about what's happening with ICE. You can't be upset about these things. And again, I don't want to go into the political part of the conversation. I'm more concerned about the accountable part of the conversation. So I ask you, do you believe that in our society, people have lost a sense of accountability? And if you do believe that people have lost a sense of accountability, what is it going to take to build a better sense of accountability among the populace? What's it going to take to build a better sense of accountability in your family, among your friends? What's it going to take to build a better sense of accountability in your social and pleasure club, in your crew, in your fraternity, in your sorority? What's it going to take to build a better sense of accountability if you believe that people have lost a sense of accountability? Or do you think that my friend was just being way too dramatic and people are just as trifling as they have ever been? And the needle has not moved on accountability at all. It's just that we have social media, and social media is just showing us where the unaccountable people are, but they are no more or no less accountable than they have been. Would love to know your thoughts about that. 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. Uncle Ruckus Jr. checking in on YouTube saying good afternoon. Good afternoon, Uncle Ruckus Jr. Must be one of Gerard's people. And then we have Sandra. She says no accountability is why this entire planet is in the shape that it's in. Okay. All right. Heavy stuff there. And yeah, therein lies a good question. Sandra, thank you so much. Therein lies a good question. Is the world unaccountable? Have we lost accountability in other parts of the world? Is it Western society? Has Eastern society started slacking? Again, would love to know your thoughts. We're going to take a commercial break in just a little bit. So get your thoughts together and give me a call and tell me what you think. And let's have a conversation about this. But I don't necessarily want to know just about people not having accountability, if that's your opinion. I would also like to know, what is it going to take to drive us back to more accountability or to build accountability in society? I actually have an interesting thought about this in a little bit, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back on the other side. It is the reality check. I'm Eddie Francis in for Gerard Stevens on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Growing up, Wallace Peoples couldn't stay out of trouble. He spent time in and out of juvenile detention and was convicted of armed robbery in 1997 and sent to prison for 20 years. It was during that extended stay behind bars that changed his perspective and led him to reinvent himself. Today, Wallace Peoples goes by Wallo267, and he's dedicated his life to sharing positive messages, especially to those from underserved backgrounds. His greatest tool? It's humor.
You understand, if you can make somebody laugh, you can make them listen. And laughter don't got no race, no color, no age, no gender. That's one of the things that we all could agree upon. No matter where you at in life, you want to laugh.
Wallo267 uses his ability to make people laugh as a hook to get them to listen to his advocacy for reform and to help other people from underserved backgrounds avoid the pitfalls that derailed his younger years. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
NOLA Public Schools is excited for the rest of this 24-25 school year journey with our families, watching our students dive into learning, growth, and success. As the school year continues, our dedicated educators are focused on keeping every student engaged and motivated. Let's keep embracing new challenges, celebrating achievements, and supporting each other to make the rest of this year even more impactful. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS through our social media channels for updates and resources. We're here to help our scholars attend today, achieve tomorrow.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good afternoon and happy Friday. Welcome back to the Reality Check. I'm Eddie Francis in for Gerard Stevens. Have you taken a look at the WBOK VIP Listener Club? You haven't? What's wrong with you? Go to WBOK1230.com and click merch, and you can get some updates from us. Sign up for newsletters. You can become a member of a club. You can even buy some WBOK swag. Got some T-shirts. Got a golf shirt right there. Looks pretty good. Baseball hat, bucket hat. I tell you, the hoodie looks kind of fresh though. I like the hoodie. I think I might get a hoodie. There's also a fleece. You can get a zip-up fleece. Yeah, so go to WBOK1230.com and click merch and join the VIP Listeners Club. Also, tomorrow, if you are looking for something to do, something that is free and something that will connect you to the ancestors, the Whitney Plantation is having their third annual Juneteenth Freedom Festival. Admission is free, but you do have to register for the event. It is going to be tomorrow, starting 9:30 a.m. It's going to go until 4 p.m. You're going to have a Father's Day ceremony, Roots of Freedom Row. You're going to have some brass band music going. Girls Play Trumpet 2 is going to be there. Troy Sawyer, his crew is going to be there. And so make sure that if you want something to do, go hang out at the Whitney Plantation tomorrow morning for the 3rd annual Juneteenth Freedom Festival. Have a good time. Most definitely. Accountability. What's going on with it? Do we have it or not? What is the deal with accountability? No, but seriously, I mean, do you think that we have lost accountability in society? Do you think it's about the same? Do you think that when someone says that people are no longer accountable, do you think that they are overreacting? What do you think? So we got some folks on the phone line this afternoon, and we got Cedric on the line this afternoon. Cedric, good afternoon. What you say?
Hello, how are you doing, my fellow Purple Knight?
I'm doing good, Purple. What's up, Purple?
Oh, you got it. Happy Father's Day to you and to all of the Father's Day listeners. I am not a biological father, but I pray that I have been a father figure in my life. The lack of accountability when we look at self in the mirror is the problem. For example, I could not be on the phone with you trying to talk about self-accountability if I wasn't open and honest with my own issues and concerns. And, Eddie, man, wow. For example, this jailbreak situation. Mm-hmm. Yes, the sheriff is, she's the person in that position. But when you look as per state law, the people at maintaining the jailhouse in any given parish is that parish government. So we look at the city council, one person in particular, placing the blame. Well, then you are the city council. You're part to blame too. With the case backlogs, why are these people? Why were they still here? So nevertheless, if we want to fix what's going on, it has to start with self. And in my opinion, it's worse now. Democratic Party, you should be doing what you need to do at the federal, state, and city level as far as atonement, to say, yo, we made a mistake. We took the voters for granted. That's why we have so many, what's the other, not Republican, not independents. Mm-hmm. Admit you made a mistake. Atone so that we can shift what's going on for these midterm elections. You know what I mean? What's happening with the immigrants, it may not be our fight directly, but indirectly it is. And in this period, what are we doing to motivate us? Because if it's happening to them today, who's to say it won't be us next year?
And so, go ahead.
The lack of self-accountability, when one looks at it, Eddie, is this 2025 or have we regressed to 1955?
It's very interesting that you bring up looking yourself in the mirror, because it is said that the first commandment of leadership is self-awareness. And so, when you have these folks who sit in these situations and they point, especially when they point the finger publicly, you're right. You just have to ask them. You have to ask yourself, are you even listening to yourself right now? Or do you even realize that you're playing on the team with the people who you're pointing the finger at publicly? Where were you when all this was going on? So, I think that's an interesting point that you bring up. It starts with whoever the person in the mirror is.
Right. Why would you get on as city council president, get up and dangle keys on your social media posts? I mean, let's fix the problem, the whole problem.
Do you think it is so going beyond New Orleans, and you did mention the Democrats? Do you think it is a nationwide problem that we have?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a nationwide problem. To whereas, back in the day, if you were a Republican or a Democrat, if you were an honest working woman or man, the other party would help you. Now it's like, who has the biggest lifesaver? And they're not helping. It has become, it's like we're going back to being barbarians.
So if you had to, if you could write Cedric's manual on how to be accountable, how would you start that manual? And I know this is almost an unfair question, but how would you even get the ball rolling? Like, what would be some of your initial thoughts in saying, no, this is how we're going to do it again?
It's a very fair question. In about 10 days, I'm going to be celebrating 600 days of sobriety. And I didn't have, thank you. And I didn't have bumps and bruises. And I had to look at myself in the mirror. And my pastor, Bishop Love, says, sometimes your inner me can be your enemy. And and it's a painful thing when you look at yourself and say, yo, man, there's some things you got to change. You can't look one way to others, but yet you're living one way. And I don't want to be a hypocrite because we got enough men or enough people who are being hypocritical. And what I think about is, what kind of New Orleans, what kind of Louisiana, what kind of America are we leaving for the children?
And I think that's a great way to end it. Thank you so much, Cedric. Appreciate you giving me a call.
Have a good one, man.
You too. All right. We got Don on line 2 calling in, and Don has something to say. Good afternoon, Don. How are you?
All right, Brother Eddie. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to hear from you, man.
It's good to hear you, and thank you for what you do. But you left at the hyena. The pack of hyenas said on the Serengeti after the lions got through eating. There's a lot of meat on that bone. But nevertheless, accountability. I was looking it up. I'm like, why is he using all these big words? Accountability, ability. It says that it converts an adjective to a noun when you use ability, and the word has to end in able. So the accountability, vulnerability, suitability, all these words end in able, A-B-A-B-L-E, and it's the quality or state of being able to do something. Mm-hmm. So when you hold someone accountable or responsible, or it's their responsibility, or you're holding them, and you have the culture of accountability, that means they're able, they're quality, they're qualified, bona fide, certified, dignified. Yesterday, Brother Eddie, 1963, on June 12th, yesterday, Brother Medgar Evers, World War II veteran, the Double V campaign. He served in the military. He's buried in Arlington National Cemetery with 4 honors. Medgar Evers, out of Mississippi, Alcorn State, got a BA after he graduated. After he got out of the service, he graduated from Alcorn State in the SWAC. Mm-hmm. He was assassinated yesterday, June 12th, 1963. He met all of those definitions of quality and state of being able to do something, because he did it. Mm-hmm. And so when I look at, and he was assassinated at the age of 37. Mm-hmm. Dr. King was assassinated at the age of 39. Malcolm X, Haj Malik el-Shabazz was assassinated at 39. These brothers was responsible. They was accountable. There was all of those. They converted an adjective to a noun. Mm-hmm. And when you see these brothers, they wasn't in no baggy pants, sagging pants and undershirts. These brothers was dressed in suits. Mm-hmm. And when you see the marches, the good little girls, the 4 little girls in the church bombings, and Ruby Bridges and Leona Tate and Tessie Provost and all of those, they was dressed very They had the quality. They had the quality. They was converting as a the suffix ability converted an adjective to a noun.
Mm-hmm.
These brothers and sisters was converting hatred to love.
Mm-hmm.
I hear everybody say the pastor saved them. So when you talk about accountability and responsibility, suitability, all these big words, the people, our ancestors have put the definitions in those words because they've been held to a higher standard. So when I hear about sports and will this guy, brother, do a good job, look at the life of a Joe Dumas, Jr. I think he a junior or a third. Yeah, that means his daddy, Big Joe, a truck driver. So for me, when you talk about accountability, responsibility, and all these fabulous words, our people paid and demonstrated what it was like. You know what it's like to march in Bogans? You played in the band, didn't you?
No, I did not actually, no.
No. Okay. I thought you played, you was in the Marching 100. But nevertheless, I won't keep too much more of your time. When I see the lineup at WBOK, and I think Gerard Stevens has something to do with that. The brother knows quality. He knows the state of being able to do something, not do nothing. He's not going to put the people out here, and he carried on tradition at WBOK for what, 70 plus years? That means something to the community and to the larger society as a whole. We have to continue to promote and support high quality, high state of being able to do whatever you choose to do within your heart's desire, and that's within the realms of the American dream. And that's what I see. I don't know if I answered your question, but you put a lot on the table throughout this program, and I just want to encourage people. What is a father? A father is under the same definition as responsibility, accountability, suitability. And yes, fathers are vulnerable, as Medgar Evers and Dr. King and Brother Shabazz demonstrate to us. They're very vulnerable because of the ability to convert scenarios to a winning composition.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Don. Appreciate you, man, and you have a great weekend. You know, there are a couple of comments that we got on social media, on YouTube. Sandra says, no accountability is why this entire planet is in the shape it's in. And she goes on to say, and many cherry pick what they choose to be accountable for, whatever suits them politically, morally, you name it. We will be forced to be accountable, lest we won't survive on a deep level. That song, The Man in the Mirror. And also, let's see. Oh, there wasn't a comment on Facebook. But, the thing about accountability and American society is I just don't think accountability was ever in the DNA of the country, period. Not even in the first place. There is a quote that I heard at the New Orleans Book Festival a couple of years ago. I saw a panel discussion with Heather Cox Richardson and Jeff Rosen. Jeff Rosen is a constitutional lawyer. And there was a quote that he gave by Patrick Henry because, the discussion was about the Constitution itself and how flexible the Constitution should be. And one of the things, I think he was making the point when he said this, he said, when you take a look at how the founding fathers constructed the Constitution, they had agendas. And there was this quote by Patrick Henry that he pulled out that I never knew about. Patrick Henry wrote a letter in 1773, and he wrote it to a Quaker by the name of Robert Pleasance, and also to John Alsop. And Robert Pleasance was an abolitionist. He was anti-slavery. And in the letter, Patrick Henry wrote, quote, "I am drawn along by the general inconvenience of living here without them, slaves. I cannot justify it." So one of the founding fathers of these United States of America said, nah, we can't get rid of slaves because that's going to be a problem for me. That's going to make my life inconvenient. It sounds to me as if this country wasn't even built on accountability. So basically, what one of the founding fathers of this country said was, oh, I'm not going to be accountable. I don't need to be accountable. So where do you go from there? In the founding of a nation, where do you go from there? When one of your founding fathers says, I know that there's a responsible, accountable choice for me to make here, and a moral choice, I'm not going to do it. Y'all can kick rocks. I'm going to do what I feel like doing. And so as the country goes along, this is the culture that is set up in this land. Because at the end of the day, can you even begin to say that a bunch of people who thought it was a good idea to own other human beings, can you even say that they had even a shred of accountability? No, not at all. This is the culture that was established here. And along with that, I got more bad news for you. When I was getting my master's degree from Tennessee State University in strategic leadership, my research was on narcissism and leadership. You want to know one of the most interesting things I found out as I reviewed the literature on narcissism? Is that it is believed by mental health professionals, practitioners, clinicians, and academic researchers, it is believed that narcissism has reached epidemic levels. That means that anybody sitting next to you at any time chooses not to be accountable for regulating their emotions about any given thing, and they put themselves first. And they choose not to show empathy towards their fellow human being. That's what that means. That means that in my eyes, when my friend said that I think that we are less accountable now than we were before, that we are, when she said that we are not accountable, I may be inclined to agree that, yeah, we may be a little bit more accountable, but honestly, were we ever accountable as a nation in the first place? Is this simply the culture that you and I were born into and that we grew up in? And maybe that's why people felt so comfortable voting for someone who they knew. I mean, this person stood up and said, I'm going to do some illegal stuff and some messed up stuff to people, so I need y'all to vote for me so I can get what I want. Because he was very plain that he wanted to get in office so he couldn't go to jail. So maybe when people decided, yeah, I'm going to vote for that person, And maybe when people looked at him and said, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to vote. Maybe they were exercising that very lack of accountability that bothered my friend that day. We're going to be back in a few minutes. It is the Reality Check. I'm Eddie Francis on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. Tomorrow, June 14th, President Trump will roll out a Bastille-style military parade down Pennsylvania Avenue, marking his 79th birthday, Flag Day, and the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary, complete with 6,600 troops, tanks, helicopters, and reenactments. But across the country, activists have organized a No King's Day movement, calling for over 1,800 local demonstrations in every state and reject what they describe as authoritarian spectacle. Protests will not be happening with No King's Day in Washington, D.C. However, they will be in surrounding areas like Virginia and Maryland. Protest coalitions, including the ACLU and Planned Parenthood, are even urging participants to wave American flags at these peaceful rallies to reclaim the symbol of democracy. President Trump saying from the Oval Office, the protesters will be met with heavy force. The price tag for Trump's parade, an estimated $45 million. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks
and Kimber White Dupree
from the Front Porch.
Some combos are too good to miss. Now you can pull up a chair to the front porch anytime.
Just search WBOK Media and subscribe to the Front Porch Podcast.
Download, share, and hit us with a 5-star rating because New Orleans culture deserves to be heard loud and clear.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 12:30 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
New Schools for New Orleans is committed to keeping and finding great teachers for our students in Orleans Parish. If you or someone you know is interested in becoming a teacher for the 25-26 school year, let us help you. We've created the New Orleans Teacher Job Board, which is the official job platform of public schools in New Orleans. You can apply to any school in the city. Simply post your resume and provide information about yourself. Visit our website to learn more and apply. www.neworleansteacherjobboard.org.
Get in on the conversation at 504-582-9422. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good afternoon and welcome back to The Reality Check. I'm Eddie Francis in for Gerard Stevens. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Make sure that you listen up to all the WBOK shows, but whatever you do, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and you share WBOK with them, especially folks who are from outside of the New Orleans listening area. Make sure you share the website, WBOK1230.com, WBOK1230.com, especially if you want them to listen to your favorite show along with you. Got Anita on the line this afternoon. Good afternoon, Anita. How are you?
Hey, I'm calling back. Look, listen, I was just listening at that
$45 million birthday celebration.
Uh-huh.
So that's where the taxpayers' money went. Okay, I'm paying taxes, and I can't get my taxes, but you're going to have a big celebration for you?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that dude is stupid.
Yep. This is
that dude is stupid.
So you heard, I don't know if you caught the last part I said about narcissism being an epidemic.
Oh man. It's crazy, that whole White House.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you know, I have a theory. And my theory is it takes one to know one. And so I think, well, that's not my theory for this and for how he even got in there, even in the first place, is that birds of a feather flock together. So all the people who decided to pull the lever or press the button to vote for this dude, I think they got the same problem.
So you think they wasn't going to suffer? They're suffering just as much.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them would do the same thing. I think a lot of them, if they had the opportunity, they would spend $45 million of tax dollars on a parade. Just to say, look at me.
Hey, WBOK family, listen up. Turn your TVs off. That's what y'all do. Nobody have to watch that crap.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely not on the bingo card for tomorrow. No, that is not happening. That is not happening. Anita, thank you so much. Appreciate you calling back.
Okay.
All right. So I mean, I mean, what do you do when your example of a lack of accountability comes from the highest office in the land? Now, listen. Let's be clear. He's not the first. He is not the first at all. There has been many a president who has done some really trifling, unaccountable stuff. Republican, Democrat, whatever. Okay, they have been equal opportunity and a lack of accountability department. He is definitely one of the worst, if not the worst. Definitely one of the worst. But right now, what do you do? I mean, for the people who are raising kids right now and they want their kids to be accountable human beings, what do you do to get your kid to the point of making decisions knowing that your kid is going to come back to you and say, well, wait a minute. If he can do that, then why shouldn't I be able to do the same thing? Why are you asking me to be accountable? The person in the highest office in the land isn't accountable. So why do I have to be accountable? And it is a tough conversation to have with a kid to say, I need you to be better. Well, Mom, Dad, are you better? It is at this point that as a parent, you don't know what to do with your child. You don't know if you want to throw that little joker out of a window or if you want to hug him for asking such a great question. It's such an intelligent, insightful question. And it is a good question. If you're a parent, it is less than responsible to say, I want you to do this, and you are not willing to do something even more responsible or accountable than your own child. And so I go back to my friend when we were having this conversation and how frustrated she was. And I'm asking her, do you really think people are less accountable than they used to be? And I go back to that Patrick Henry quote. When the man said, in so many words, I know owning people is wrong, and I know abusing them is wrong, but I ain't gonna do. No. That is inconvenient for me. That is gonna make my breakfast taste different if I decide that I'm going to let these people go. And you know what's funny about Patrick Henry? The guy who said that he could not do without the inconvenience of having slaves, is the same one who said, give me liberty, give me death. How you loving that? So if you look at the example that we have, again, I say this. If you look at the example that we have in this country of accountability, it just seems like it never quite existed in the first place. So now the question is this. We know the problem. We got the problem. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are you going to do? What am I going to do? How are we going to turn this country, and starting with our own community, right? So let's start with New Orleans. What do we do in New Orleans to make our community a more accountable community? As a matter of fact, what do you do in your neighborhood? As a matter of fact, what do you do in your block? What do you do in your house? Because, yes, I go back to my man who called earlier and say, you got to look at the man in the mirrors. I think that was Cedric. You got to look at the man in the mirror, or you got to look at the person in the mirror. And that's where we are as a country. And that is why I bring up the adage that self-awareness is the first commandment of leadership. And it's not like I'm expecting you to go out and lead a community and start holding town hall meetings. What I mean is practicing personal leadership, leading yourself even, investing in your own growth and development so that you can be an asset to the people in your house, be an asset to the people in your community, an asset to the people in your city, an asset to the people in your state, your region, and your country. We all have to do this. We are in this thing together. And for all the people, and you're not going to like this when I say it, but I've had a problem with the people who say, let it burn. I didn't cause the problem. You can't let it burn. Because if you decide to let it burn, eventually the fire is going to reach you too. Do you want to burn with it? Do you really, really want to burn with it? And if you say, well, no, I'm going to let it burn and I'm going to leave. Okay. Do you want to let the most powerful nation in the world burn? Is that accountability? We have a lot of work to do. And listen, this is not going to be easy for us to get this society to a place where I believe we are in a reasonable place. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a whole lot of pushing. But we got to push together. And I know you hear it coming. I know you hear it coming. We have to hold each other accountable. Thank you so much. I appreciate you hanging out with me today and putting up with me today, sitting in for Gerard Stevens. I'm going to be sitting in again for him on Monday, so I can't wait to hang out with you again. Make sure you listen to all of our shows here on WBOK. As a matter of fact, Democracy Now! Is coming up next. It is the Reality Check. I'm Eddie Francis in for Gerard Stevens. Again, thank you so much. WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.